I think he asked Big Bill Brunsey. He says, Big Bill, that blues music you play, you call that folk music? And Big Bill says, well, I never heard no horses sing none of it. I told you not to mention wild folk dancing.
I got nerves of iron, fists of steel. I got a girly knob on the steering wheel. 58 Ford with mud flaps on the back. I work hard all day driving the cat. I got American flags on the back of my hat. That's why my friends all call me Russell. I got 13 kids and 3 old dogs. Every morning wake up just to feed the hogs. Don't take no guff from no one, no, not me. Well, I got in a fight just last week. I lost my wife and a couple of teeth. That's why my friends all call me Russell. If you see me coming, you better get off the street, 'cause I'm either drunk or half asleep. I'm driving hard for that liquor store. And every evening when the sun goes down, you can find me at the tavern outside the town. That's why my friends all call me Russell. I got my own stool. Fists of steel, I got a girly knob on my steering wheel. A 58 Ford with mud flaps on the back, yes, do round. I work hard all day, driving a cat, got American flags on the back of my hat. That's why my friends all call me Russell. Welcome everybody to Horses Sing None of It. Today we have Ralph Litwin on the show. My name's Lou Gelfond, I'm your host today, and Ralph, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks, Lou. It's nice to be here. I'm always glad to be here.
I know, you're here quite a lot, actually, as host of the show with me. But today we'd like to feature some of your action, what you're doing in life. And I understand that you would love to be a recording artist. And as a matter of fact, maybe you, have you recently had this desire?
Yes, I recently have. True confessions. I recently have had this desire, and the reason you're asking me that question, I suppose, is you want me to show this little project here that we've been working on. This is a new compact disc that's out. It's mostly my original songs, and you, with many other musicians, helped me to produce this at Mixolydian Studio up here in Booton, and we even put a poster up on the wall. This is that's the cover of the cassette version. So it's
So you've got CDs and
cassettes
available locally. Yeah, that's right.
And you might even tune in and hear it on WFDU radio or some of the other local radio stations.
Ralph, you put a lot of effort into that project, and I know I've loved listening to it, and I'm real proud to be on that too. And I wish you real good luck with it. I know you will have good luck with it because you already had a good time producing it.
Yeah.
And it's been good fun, so more power to you.
Thank you.
You got some special song here for us to kick things off?
Yeah, well, I thought I'd kind of focus on some of my songs that are on the album today. And This one, it's called Trying to Be a Good Old Boy, But You're a Bad Old Habit. And it's ostensibly, on the surface, it's about a woman that a fella can't seem to get out of his life, but I actually wrote it about overeating.
Okay.
Which is a problem I have. I like to eat all those sweet, yummy things. Plenty of grease in my diet. So here's a bad old habit. The way you come on to me, it's hard to resist temptation. But I've been learning how to delay my gratification. The things that you do for me, they feel good in the short run. But over time you've been killing me. I got it on good information. You're a bad old habit I've been hooked on a long, long time. I'd be a wealthy man if I had just one thin dime. For each time I indulged you, instead of doing what's right for me, trying to be a good old boy, but you're a bad old habit, and I wish you'd let me be. My new love, she's a wonder, and she helps me every day, making life a little better in every little way. So I give her all of my love, and I try to stay on guard, 'cause bad habits, they can kill ya, and old habits hang on hard. Yes, I'd like to make it easy for you to get out of my life. I know you've only been doing things the way you think is right. I love you and I've needed you, but you're no good for me. Yes, you're a bad old habit, and I wish you'd let me be. Yes, you're a bad old habit I've been hooked on a long, long time. I'd be a wealthy man if I had just one thin dime. For each time I indulged you, instead of doing what's right for me, trying to be a good old boy, but you're a bad old habit, and I wish you'd let me be. Play that little mandolin. Most times it's real easy to be with my new love. She can make me feel so high, like I'm up in heaven above. But you're my bad old habit, and when you come sneaking around, it's almost just as easy to let you bring me down. Yes, you're a bad old habit I've been hooked on a long, long time. I'd be a wealthy man if I had just one thin dime. For each time I indulge you, instead of doing what's right for me, trying to be a good old boy, but you're a bad old you're a bad old habit, and I wish you'd let me be.
Great, great. Well, Ralph, I've been noticing you've been in the Morris County Record and all the local newspapers has been following you. Every time I see your picture in the paper, I go, oh, I'm glad to be playing with Ralph. You're getting all this publicity all over the place, and it seems like you get followed quite a lot by the media and get some good press, and you must be doing something right.
Well, that simply means I do my homework.
I
I make sure to send out press releases and photos to the press when I'm doing something.
Well, I guess it pays off in the long run, but they don't pick up people and talk about people unless they're doing something worthwhile. And I know your philosophy of life is one that's more holistic than most. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about. Well, are you vegetarian too, or?
Well, I'm what I call a backsliding vegetarian. I started out being a complete vegetarian in 1968, and that lasted for quite a long time, probably about 8 or 10 years. And then I kind of included fish in my diet, and chicken became a part of my diet. And now I'm even the last few years wearing leather clothes, shoes and belts and so forth. So I'm a real backslider on that issue.
Okay.
But I'm conscious of it. And I kind of address my conflict there in the way that the Native American, kind of prays to the spirit of the animal that he's has to do in to use his product.
The only reason I mention that is because a lot of your songs are about kind of the karma of living and a good feel. Even the name of your album, right behind you, let's see, Makes My Heart Feel Happy, and you've got a lot of different kinds of music that you get into. And how about sharing a little more with us?
Well, sure. I guess one of the most popular songs that I wrote that just about everybody seems to like is the one I wrote for my wife. And the story behind it is that when we first knew each other for about a year, she heard me perform another song that I had written for a previous girlfriend.
Oh no.
But Stephanie's a pretty mellow lady, But she says to me, Ralph, why don't you write a song for me?
And of course, you must have instantly come up with a song for it, didn't you?
Well, not exactly. No, I don't write songs on demand. They have to pop out of my subconscious sort of automatically. And so I just shrugged my shoulders and said, I don't know, Steph, it just hasn't hit me yet. And so she let the subject drop, and about 7 years went by. And
okay.
Then I read an article about Amish farmers, and I got all hyped up about Amish farmers, how they're living off the land and without electricity, and they're growing organic gardens, and they're all in tune with nature and everything. So I said to Stephanie, how about we go out and live like Amish farmers? And she said, Ralph, I'd rather say goodbye to you than to give up an indoor toilet. And this made me upset for a little while, but then it suddenly hit me, what a great title for a country song that would make. So that's how I suddenly started writing a song with that title.
Let's do it.
All right. My wife always wanted me to write a song for her. After 8 years, I got inspired today. I asked her if she'd live with me like an Amish farmer. She didn't hesitate. She said, no way, Jose. Stephanie said, I love you. You're the one I adore. You are the one I do anything for. Stephanie said, I love you. But Ralph, please don't spoil it. I'd rather say goodbye to you than give up an indoor toilet. Now I was just thinking about our modern way of living, paying all bills for them newfangled contraptions. And I was just thinking about growing food, living a simpler life without all them complications. And Stephanie said, I love you, you're the one I adore. You are the one I'd do anything for. Stephanie said, I love you, but Ralph, please don't spoil it. I'd rather say goodbye to you than give up an indoor toilet. Play that fiddle, Lou. Now when Steph said those words to me, it made me feel bad. She'd leave me for a toilet, that made me feel sad. Well, I felt pretty blue, but it didn't last long, 'cause it hit me, Steph, that's a great title for a song. And Stephanie said, I love you, you're the one I adore. You are the one I'd do anything for. Stephanie said, I love you, but Ralph, please don't spoil it. I'd rather say goodbye to you than give up an indoor toilet. Now we got 2 indoor toilets, and we both do our part. Staying in love together, though those words broke my heart. We don't live like Amish farmers, I guess I've been beat. Still on a cold night, I'm glad for a warm toilet seat. And Stephanie said, I love you, you're the one I adore. You are the one I'd do anything for. Stephanie said, I love you, but Ralph, please don't spoil it. I'd rather say goodbye to you than give up an indoor toilet.
Ralph, the other night, we went, let's say at your house you had a little record party, you know, this record just being released.
Right.
And Stephanie, I'll tell you, she made the best ice cream cake I've ever tasted. Stephanie's
That was good.
A real good gal, And so what other projects, what's your next project? What do you have coming up?
Well, aside from working on this here Horses Sing None of It show, and on the album, basically I'm going to be working on promoting the album, getting it out to radio stations and getting reviews of it in the, you know, the music media and the local media, and I'd like to try and get some bookings for the group that worked on the record, which was about, we probably could work with about 5 or 6 musicians, drums and some horns and piano and bass, tuba, you know.
Yeah, Dave Greco, you know, you came across Dave Greco on tuba, and
Yeah.
the sweetest tuba
He's
player
a great
I've ever
tuba
heard.
player,
He's
yeah.
just great. And so,
And he plays bass and electric bass too.
yeah,
He's a
and,
great
and
player.
on their album also, I know Mike Esposito's like my favorite dobro player. He's
Right.
just great.
He has to be in the band for sure. Great dobro
Henry and
player.
Al Moeller on drums. And
Yeah, we've had a
lots
lot of
good
these people on the show too that are on the album. Yeah.
Well, here,
Well-
you know, this does keep you pretty busy getting the show together and editing and doing things like that. And you've had some experience in Morris County College also doing this type of thing.
Yeah. And then also to make money, I have my cabinet business to keep me
Keep
busy
you going.
and a family. And as long as I sang the song about Stephanie and mentioning my family now, it might be a good time to go to. I brought in a clip. It's actually a little edited piece, and there's a neighbor who's a neighbor to my shop. Now my cabinet shop is in a place that used to be my grandfather's horse stall. And just being there, I ran into this lady, Tolly Richardson, who knew my grandfather. When she was a little girl growing up on that block, she knew my grandfather, and on this tape she describes all about what used to be there.
So your family's been in this area for how many years now?
Well, my mother was
How many
born
generations?
in Morristown, and my grandparents moved to Morristown from the old country. And also in this tape, you'll see a little bit of my wife, Stephanie, and my son, Eli, and my daughter, Melody, in different parts. And also there's a little bit of the clip from the record release party where a bunch of the musicians from the record are there. Unfortunately, the sound didn't come out, so we're going to lay the music from the CD over the track there. And so
Let's cut to that clip right now.
Well, hi there. We're at my shop here with Tolly Richardson, who's a longtime neighbor in this neighborhood. And she knew my family and my grandfather, who I never knew. And when I first met Tolly, I was very interested to hear some of the things she had to say, particularly about my shop here, which used to be my grandfather's horse stall. So Tolly, how long have you been living in this neighborhood?
Well, do I have to tell my age on
No,
TV?
no. Since you were a little girl.
I was raised on the street, and I still live on the street.
Uh-huh.
And quite a while.
And you knew my grandfather.
I knew your grandfather, your grandmother, your mother, your uncle, your cousins.
Uh-huh.
I knew the whole family.
Typical morning at the Litwin household.
I'm having China.
China doesn't look too happy about that.
Well, when you first came in the drive, there'd be the bar across if the horses were running, out running around, and then right in about here was the cage where your grandfather had either a raccoon or a possum, and then up a little further was a dog pen. He'd have maybe a couple of hunters in the dog pen, and then up above was the pigeon loft, and then maybe another dog pen, and then the first stable. Your grandfather had wonderful pigeons. He had tumblers.
Uh-huh.
Probably most of Morristown's pigeons are descendants of Newmark's pigeons, and also my grandmother, I understand, had pigeons, and Emil and her used to be swapping pigeons back and forth according to what my mother told me.
Uh-huh.
But I don't see any more tumblers here in Morristown, and they really are a sight to behold to watch those tumblers.
So that they actually, they fall?
Oh, they go up, way, way up, and then they free fall, and you wonder if they're ever going to come out of it, and then they come out of it and they take off again. I haven't seen a tumbler in many, many years.
Too quiet.
We're not too quiet.
Do you dig that hot jazz sound? Where the music makes your mind whirl around. It's to that crazy beat, makes me wanna stomp my feet. Do you dig that funky noise? That thrill them girls and wackadoo, wackadoo. It'll make you shake and moan. When the fool shows your ball, a Lindy Hop and truck on down and cakewalk all over town.
Don't hit me, I'm on TV.
Hi everybody, we're here today with Ralph Litwin, who's a twice New Jersey Old Style Banjo champion. And I think he's got a song for us on that banjo right now.
Yep, this is Buck Dancer's Choice, and it's also on the album. Most of the tunes on the album have large arrangements. This is just me and a tuba.
Thank you, Ralph.
All right.
Thank you, Ralph. By the way, let's mention right now that any local residents in the area that would like to be on Horses Sing None of It, you can, at the credits at the end of the show, there are a couple phone numbers. You can give us a call, and we'd be glad to have you on the show. So give us a buzz, and let's see some local residents give us some calls and come on the show. Ralph, back to you. I think you might have another song for us, I would hope.
Yeah, I think we have to say goodbye, and we'll go out on this song, another one from the album. It's about a little story I read in the Brain Mind Bulletin about the 100th monkey phenomenon. A little calypso number. On a little island down by Japan was a little girl monkey. Potato in her hand, all covered with dirt. You know it tasted pretty mean. Her name was Emo. Albert Einstein of her tribe. She went down to the water, washed it in the tide like the invention of the wheel. A revolution in monkey cuisine. Ooh la is like washing a potato and teaching someone else to wash a potato too. Pretty soon the whole world will be washing potatoes with you. Now Ema's mama and her friend got a lesson in the art of washing potatoes right from the start, and all the Ema's friends, they taught their mamas also. And the anthropologists watched with great interest for